Now going to get into action and perform some real magic.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you have learned all these amazing things about crystals and about their power to affect the planetary matrix, now that you have implanted into your mind a positive timeline for our future, we are inviting you on a journey together through a meditation using your own crystal. You may have a Vogel crystal, or you may have a regular cut crystal, or raw. It is the same application. Just take your favorite crystal with you. Through a meditation, you will use your favorite own crystal, and we will teach you how to concretely make a change for real, physically, using the power of your mind and the crystal. A secret that has been hidden from us for a long time. Let us collectively co-create and imprint into our crystals a vision of the most wonderful and positive timeline for the greater good of all the beings of Terra.
As Elena says, you can have a small little crystal, you can have a little larger crystal, or you can use a Vogel type cut crystal to do this. And this is a process that we will go through. The first step is we're going to build up the pranic energies in our body. And we're going to do that through the breath. And we take a deep breath in. Hold for a few seconds. And then slowly release. Hold for a few seconds. Take a deep breath in. Hold. And then slowly release. And the last time, take a deep breath in. Hold and slowly release. Build up the pranic energy in our bodies. Now, the first thing, as Marcel and Danaan both recommend, is we have to clear the crystal that we're using of any previous imprints of energy, since the crystal does hold all energies. And we do this with intention. And so we take the crystal, use a natural crystal. Not everybody has a Vogel crystal. Put your fingers like this, and your fingers like this, okay? Take a deep breath in with the intention of clearing. And when you release your breath with that intention, do it with a rapid pulse through your nostrils, all right? And rotate it to another set of facets and do the same thing again with the intention of clearing. Okay, now the crystal is clear. Now we're going to connect and become one with the crystal. Rotate the crystal in your hand, rub, and feel the facets that builds up the piezoelectric charge within the crystal. You'll start to feel like a little surface charge on the surface of the crystal facets. Okay, now that we are at one with the crystal, and the crystal is an extension of our consciousness that's linked into the planetary matrix of Terra and all beings, with the love for the planet and all living beings on planet Terra, fully imagine the most benevolent outcome of a timeline here on the planet Earth in your mind's eye. See that timeline and feel it in your heart at the same time that it is already now. It is our current reality. Take a deep breath in, holding that vision. And when you release your breath with a rapid pulse, also give your crystal like a little pulse, physical squeeze at the same time as you release your pulse of breath. So with that vision in mind, take a deep breath in. Project that vision into the crystal. Know that it is sent through the planetary matrix and that the program is now written. Be grateful. Know that it is so. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we have now the tool to transform our reality, to transform the hologram of the universe, and decide in which world we want to live, create it ourselves, using the power of crystals. So, as concluding thoughts, Dan, do you think, what is the difference between using natural crystals versus Vogel cut crystals?
As we spoke of, ancient times, they've always used, they never had Vogel crystals. They used regular crystals, naturally grown crystals. And so they are effective. But when they are cut in a dipyramidal way, they enhance the energy like a laser, as Marcel said, and as Jenhan said. So a Vogel cut crystal will give it that extra amplification boost. And you can just imagine, of your over 100,000 subscribers, if we had 1/10 of the people, and it was documented that people without crystals were able to affect the entire morphogenic grid. They were able to measure this. Now, with the power of the crystal, according to the information shared by Jenhan and Marcel, each one of us has amplified that into the planetary matrix. And so this exercise could be extremely powerful in transforming the entire timeline on this planet.
Yes, because when we affect not only the hologram of reality, the physicality, but also the time, space-time continuum. And this is great power, as Jenhan said. This is great power. You need to be aware that it's a really powerful tool. And if it has been kept away, hidden from us, there's a reason. Because when we understand this tool and we know how to use it, well, we are all powerful. When acquiring a crystal, what would you recommend to be aware of, please?
There are, Vogel got very popularized, and so of course many commercial interests have been putting out Vogel knockoffs, I guess you could say, Vogel inspired crystals. Just a few sources are doing it exactly according to the specification. It's very critical, as both Danaan and Marcel have said, that the crystal is cut exactly so that the points of the crystal in a Vogel cut crystal are on the C-axis, which is the growth axis, which the energy spirals through. And the angles and everything have to be exact. With this type of technology that's is somewhat new, I guess, to our generation here on this planet, although it's ancient, but we always think of it as like folklore and so forth, and just people who in certain circles use this type of technology. But I know there's many viewers that are aware of what's going on planet Terra, and they want to have a feeling of empowerment, that they can make a change, don't watch television, but
That's a basic.
Yeah. So I'm honored to be able to do this with you, to share this information from Danaan and Marcel in a gift to the people of the planet to be able to use as a tool to affect our timeline. And it's powerful. And I believe that's why in 1957, all major universities across the planet, they took out of the universities the powers of human consciousness that can affect reality. They don't want us. The secret societies, of course, they understand these powers of consciousness and the collective mind that we all have, and how collectively we all together create reality. And the crystals are a bridge that goes right to the core. And that core is most effective when it's done from the heart, from love, to affect the higher levels that precipitate into the complete planetary matrix that we're in.
Yes, totally. And what I want to say is that crystal is a bridge, as you said, and a bridge to everything, to time bridge, physicality bridge as well.
I could mention that we shared a lot of information on today's show. So I'm going to put on a website I did in honor of Marcel, marcelvogel.org. I'm going to put a link that will have all the information from Danaan and everything, and also sources that I've vetted that do everything according to the specification that Marcel has put out. And so it's sort of an information library of the years I worked with him, and people can pick up where the early pioneers of this technology that is used in the secret space program. Charles talks about being on the medbed with the crystals inside the medbed, and your incredible experience actually being inside of the space ark, seeing. It's interesting that, as you said, you would think it'd be all like this sterile, stainless steel looking metal spaceship, but it's actually somewhat organic looking, with all the crystal clusters all over the place that you wouldn't expect, but they're physical on multiple dimensions.
That's it. That was something very important, very revealing that I learned that day. Why do they live in an environment of crystal? Because it allows them, who are different civilizations from different densities to live together, to be together in a space on the same physicality. Although they are from different densities, crystals allow that. It bridges this. And this was absolutely revealing. Incredible applications. We can also use crystals on ourselves physically to heal ourselves. I think you have examples. You saw Marcel Vogel heal some people with just using crystals and the power of the mind.
Yes, it's a rather involved procedure. I can highlight it briefly. And as he said, as a healer, you have to detach yourself from the outcome. All you do is put yourself at service. All you're doing is facilitating another individual to heal themselves. What you're doing is the crystals act as somewhat of like an etheric scalpel, I guess you could say, but nothing sharp, where it goes into the higher energetic body, and say there's some, with the understanding that our body is being formed from a higher dimensional source that comes from our soul into our three-dimensional form, and that we have many densities, like the space arc. Our bodies have many different densities that we work in, and the crystal allows it to act as a bridge to go into those other densities, where the higher forms the lower physical form. And so let's say somebody has an injury that they have. Let's say they have a bad shoulder that impacted, they fell, and it's like, and there's a pattern there that's being broadcast in space on a higher dimensional level. And so in the process, one of the first things they do is bring your energy up, like we did in the exercise, to bring the pranic energy up. You cannot work on a depleted body. They have to have a certain amount of energy to move the energy through their bodies. And so in the process, they usually attune into the thymus, which is an area which connects throughout the whole body. And Marcel found out that there was he called it the critical rotational angle, whereas like what we talked about, that everything in the universe has a geometrical angle to it that resonates. So our DNA has a specific unique frequency. And when you rotate the crystal, a person who's a practitioner of this, they develop a sense of the energy, and you can feel it as you rotate it and as you go into a person's energy field. And as they say, ask and you shall receive. It's that simple. You ask to be shown where is the core. You ask the person who you're working with, where is the core problem? Show me in my mind's eye, where is and usually if something's hurting, it's pretty easy to guide in on it. And what happens is when you're increasing the energy of the crystal, the higher the energy flow that's going through the body will amplify the pain as well. And so it makes it even easier to lock in. And so when they do that, once they have identified that, and they're willing to let go of it, and it could be, an emotional connection, or it could be complex, but you ask to be shown what is the core, and you have the person do a couple of deep breaths, and just as we did in putting a vision into the planetary matrix, you use the same pulsed breath. You have the person take a deep breath in, they lock their mind onto where that core problem is, and then Marcel would go, and it would be like this dramatic thing, like release, and it's like he would connect into the energy field, and it's like it would pull it out of the etheric pattern, and then you immediately fill in with love, as love is the integrative force that restructures that pattern, as Jen Han and Marcel both made clear. And amazing, miraculous things. He was working with 24 medical doctors. I traveled to the mines in Arkansas and got, all these crystals for the laboratory, which he was cutting for these 24 medical doctors in the San Francisco Bay Area. That was having incredible. One person regained his sight. I mean, miraculous things. When you consider the technologies in the secret space program, how it acknowledges, as Alex Collier said, that basically the technology is holographic, and that if you can restructure the hologram, I mean, miracles are quite possible. And so, yeah, that's sort of a very basic, I'm not giving, ask your doctor if it's crystal healing is right for you, but, that's kind of a real simple explanation of the process that was used is, and using love, your desire to help somebody.
Yes, love is the key, as Danaan was saying, and many of all these beings, and many of us as well, say that love is the key to everything. But actually, we really explain why on a scientific, level. And yes, I remember Alex Collier mentioning this anecdote when he witnessed on board an Andromedan ship. They had rescued people from space, and they were imprinting a younger version of their cells where it was damaged. And the healthier pattern was superimposing to the sick, the damaged one. And Danaan explained sort of the same thing, that you imprint the resonance upon dissonance, and resonance wins. And yeah, you were mentioning what I wanted to add, something you said previously. You were mentioning that the education systems have just blocked us from this knowledge, anything that goes with consciousness, the power of consciousness. Well, what I wanted to add is that also we've been told that imagination is a fantasy. It's for kids. You must not use imagination. It's contrary to science. Well, I'm sorry, imagination, what it is, it's our superpower. It's our power of visualization, of creating a thought and putting it out as an intention. And that's very powerful. Oh, no, imagination, it's for children. Do not imagine anything, because you're not taken seriously if you imagine. That's the damage we've been.
Yeah, Marcel used to say, we're made in the image and likeness of God. Therefore, in other words, we're like a fractal of that pattern, that divine pattern. Therefore, we create. Our imagination creates. Even Einstein said that imagination is greater than knowledge. And Alex Collier, on a previous show I did with you, one of the projects I worked on with Marcel was a camera that was patented in Paris, France, that thousands of photographs. It was a holographic camera that could take pictures, and it can move forwards and backwards in time, which substantiated all the principles that Alex Collier said, and how the Andromedas explained to him how the medbeds are able to age reverse you, give you back your arm or leg that's been taken off. This technology would completely disrupt our corrupt medical system, because anything could be alleviated with this type of technology.
Oh yeah, just remember what Danaan said. He said, the universe tends towards perfection. And that's that's how the healing is done. He called it repairing. In 2 words, repairing, pairing again, pairing, repairing.
It's like how the placebo effect works. If we assist that universe moving toward perfection by by believing it, because our thoughts can definitely affect us as a nocebo or placebo, either direction, according to what we think. And so our thoughts are so important to pay attention to what we are creating.
Yes, thinking is manifesting, is creating. And I would recommend everyone who has watched this video to install a daily routine and do that regularly. You have either for your own life or either for the planet, or both. Include your own life in the life of the planet and the future. For instance, sitting every day, I think 5 minutes, 10 minutes is enough. What do you think, Dan?
That's an excellent idea. And the more we do that, the more it helps morph into that reality. If all of the listeners doing this exercise that Elena and I are sharing with you, if we do this on a regular basis, it can't hurt anything, right? So let's utilize the power of our consciousness, and through the crystal connect. And this is power that the elements that want to use fear and control, they don't want the people to know that we have this great power within us.
And another great person whose name is Anax once told me that when you visualize, you put out in the universe a thought, you want to manifest it. Do not manifest it just as an image, manifest it as a dimensional hologram, like not only the front, but the sides, the back, the top, and the bottom. Visualize it in volume, construct it. And also, do not use negative wording as much as you can. For instance, do not say, I wish there is no more wars. Instead, you can say, I wish there is peace. That's a difference.
Yeah, I accept peace, and yes, and feel it with all your senses, smell, taste, hearing, all the more you can make it whole and complete in every way, the more I believe it embeds that reality into creation.
Well, we hope we will make together this better world. And if we have just all of us made this active, dynamic meditation exercise today, I think the timeline already changed, probably. So
exactly.
So keep it up every day, maintain it, let us anchor it. If you have any questions, put it in the comments of this video. Dan will reply. Dan, you have also a website where people can find documentation?
Yes, marcelvogel.org. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer every single one of them. I love sharing knowledge. I have no financial interest in this whatsoever. I just want to see our timeline, see the deceptions exposed and our planet liberated, and move forward onto, the beautiful paradise that our planet was always meant to be. And if you have a question, put it in the comments below, and I'll answer every single one of them.
Thank you, Dan. This is amazing. And we will also put links to where to buy Vogel crystals if you want. Any crystal works because it's crystal quartz, amazing. Whatever the way they are made. If they are cut, we recommend that they are cut following the lattice structure. That's why the Vogel crystals are a sure value for that. But if you have your favorite one that is not Vogel, you can work with it as well. It works as well. So we will put all the links underneath. And
yeah, you
well,
can have a $5 crystal, or a $20 crystal, or you can spend, $150 for a nice small little Vogel, or you can treat yourself to an even more expensive one. It depends on how much you want to get into the science of crystals.
Thank you, Dan. And let us make of this world a wonderful one. We are the architects. We are the architects.
Yes, we are. Thank you, Elena. It's been an honor.
Been an honor as well.